Hello and welcome to this session today that is themed around a deep cleanse, a detox of the body. We're going to be working through beautiful twists, getting a bit of a sweat on and just helping to support all the systems within our body that help and aid the immune response, as also leaving the session just feeling great and energized for the rest of the day. So to start, we're just going to come onto the mat in a seated posture, and feel free to take a block, or if you want, a blanket underneath your seat bones. What we're doing is just making sure that the hips are higher than the knees. So just taking a moment here, you can also come into a half lotus position if that's comfy for you, or just allowing the feet to sort of come next to each other, feeling the support of the ground. So as always with my sessions, just encouraging you to work at your own pace, feeling into what feels right for you today, not what felt right yesterday or what feels right for tomorrow. And I'm working sensitively if you are working with any injuries or challenges, and I'll try and offer modification through the class as well, so you can pick and choose what works for you. So as we're sitting here, we're going to close the eyes and just taking the awareness to the breath. If you don't feel comfortable closing the eyes, you can just soften the gaze, or maybe focusing on a still point in front of you, or maybe on the edge of your mat. As we begin, just to check in with how we're feeling today. Maybe noticing any points of tension in the body. Not that we need to do anything about it, we're just having a bit of a scan down through the body. The hands can rest on the knees, and we can raise the palms up towards the ceiling as well, just creating a nice open shape through the chest. Feeling the firmness of the ground underneath the seat bones, and feeling a lift up through the spinal column, so you're growing tall, almost a feeling of weightlessness travelling up through the upper body. Crown of the head gently lifting up to the ceiling. And then just checking in with yourself and putting in about 50% less effort. So it shouldn't feel rigid at all, that you're feeling that you have to hold a position, just poised in the body. Observing the breath in and out. And again, we're not doing anything to control or manipulate the breath at this stage, just watching. Maybe noticing where you breathe predominantly. Maybe it's up into the top of the lungs. Maybe you feel that motion of the belly and the diaphragm on that inhale and exhale. And let's get started. Opening the eyes. We're going to take our first twist of the class. Twists are amazing for giving the digestive system a nice massage. Almost like you're sort of, when you wring out a towel, you can see the water coming out. We're going to have that sort of wringing, rinsing motion through the body that's really beneficial for us. So as we breathe in, we're going to lift the hands up. Exhaling, bringing the left hand to right knee as we form a nice twist from the base of the spine all the way up to the top of the neck. Breathing in, coming back to the center. Exhale, coming over to the other side. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhale over to the right side. So that twist is always starting from the base of the spine and then extending up through the back. And feel free to take the neck round also, just to finish off that twist over to the left side. Again, working nice and sensitively, we're warming the body up. Great, breathing in. Growing tall, exhale, over to the left. Breathing in, lifting up. As we twist to the right, left hand comes to place on the right knee. Fantastic. Exhale. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhale, over to the right. This time as we breathe in, we're going to place the hands on the knees, or maybe just resting them on the thighs here, and moving through a bit of an undulation of the back. So as we breathe in, we're going to lift the sternum forwards, chest up, and just taking the gaze up. So I'm not sort of crunching my neck back, I'm just taking my gaze a little bit further up towards the ceiling. And as I exhale, rolling through the spine, again starting that movement from the base of the back. Breathing in, lifting up. You'll notice that breathe in really complements that opening through the chest. Exhale, come back. Beautiful, breathing in. And almost like, you know how cats sort of like paw through their fingertips. That's what we're doing with our hands as they're placed on the legs. And you'll notice that I'm not locking any joints. I'm keeping the elbows nice and soft. Exhale. Coming forwards as we dome the back. It's like the shoulder blades are pressing towards the wall behind you and even up towards the ceiling. Breathing in. Exhale. And this is just a great way to feel into the body. And again, another way of sort of checking in, just seeing how you're feeling today, how things are moving. Wonderful. Last time, breathing in, lifting the chest forwards as if you're lifting the chest through the space between the elbows. And then coming back to a neutral spine. Wonderful. Now we're going to move on to a pranayama practice. This is breath work within yoga. And this is really good for this particular breath itself. It's called Kapalbhati breath, and it's known as the cleansing breath. So you'll notice that I'm going to do some strong exhales through the nose, so it'll look like this. At the same time, you'll see my tummy is just making that movement, but I'm not really concentrating on that diaphragmatic movement. It's just happening naturally as I breathe out. So grab a tissue if you want to prepare for this. But the reason we're doing this is it's really good for the metabolism itself. Also that really nice strong exhale, getting rid of waste products, the carbon dioxide, and actually sort of oxygenating the cells. So this is the yogic cup of coffee, it's known as, really good for in the morning. And we're creating a bit of a diaphragmatic pump through the body as well, which is also really good for aiding the immune system, helping the lymph move around the body. So when you're ready, breathing in, exhale out through the nose. Keeping that going at a steady pace. If you feel lightheaded at any point, just backing off, continuing with a normal breath instead. And rest. Nice. So unlike the circulatory system that has the heart to pump the blood around the body, the lymphatic system doesn't have that natural pump itself. It actually relies on the muscularity of the body to move the lymph around to the lymph nodes. So we're creating this beautiful pump in the diaphragm. So we're going to just do that again, and again concentrating specifically on that exhale through the nose. So as you breathe in, filling the lungs with oxygen, exhale. Just move in the jaw slightly if you feel like you've created any tension, any contraction within the face itself. Wonderful. So let's move into some intuitive movement coming onto the mat. If you need to work delicately with the knees, I'd advise maybe taking a blanket underneath the knees. I'm certainly going to do that just because it feels nice. That's it, coming onto the knees into an all fours position here. And feeling an activeness through the hands. So my fingertips are facing forward. This is really good, especially if you find that you have any sort of wrist pain or your wrist a little bit sticky. Alternatively, you can create fish shapes as well. This is really good for anyone that struggles putting weight through the wrist just because you're stacking the bones here. Or if you want to, you come onto the forearms as well. So in this position here, I've got my shoulders in line with the hands, knees under the line of the hips, and we're just gonna work through a beautiful cat-cow positioning. So as we breathe in, lowering the belly, the mid-back, all the way up to the top as the head comes forward, feeling an opening through the chest. As you exhale, base of the spine moving first, and I'm pressing every single vertebra into the ceiling, really, creating a dome shape with the back. Nice, breathing in, creating space in the lungs as the head and gaze come forward. Exhale, reversing that movement. And you'll see as I'm isolating each part of the back, my head and neck are the last bits to move. So it's like a rippling effect through the back. As we breathe in, again noticing that isolated movement, almost like a bike chain here. And this time on your mat really is kind of like adult playtime. So you can get inquisitive and get creative. Find what works for you. Playing maybe with pace, so you might want to speed things up. Or slow things down. And as I'm bringing the chest forward, I'm also just feeling a nice turn in the forearms as I gaze forward. So I'm really squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other. Nice. Great, and then have a play with maybe different diagonals here. So it's more of like a wave motion through the back, working more like a snake that way. Or maybe you want to come back and then come forwards, bending the elbows more. Again, this really is playtime. Finding and feeling into the edges of your movement and your breath. And trying to just quieten that voice that is maybe critical or telling you that you should be doing something, moving in a certain way. And this is another way that's just giving the digestive system a nice massage, opening up through the lungs. Great. As you come back to more of a neutral position now, again just checking the hands if you feel that they've gone too far forwards and lining up. Just going to take the feet from side to side. Nice. And if that feels too much in the knees, you can always just take the gaze back to the feet instead, so you're working in a bit of a plane like this. Or if you want to go full, the whole hog, you can go with the feet and with the gaze. Really nice on the lower back. That feels good. Great. These movements also help with if you're suffering from any constipation, to get things kind of moving around, so you're welcome. Nice, side to side. Great, couple more of these. And then coming into neutral position again, we're going to open up through the left side now. So breathing in, left hand comes up, exhale, twisting. So we're drawing the left hand underneath the right wrist. This is called weaving cat. So drawing up again, breathing in, exhale. And if you're new to yoga or even new to this class, feel free, obviously I can suggest breath work that you're welcome to do. But if you need to take some more breaths, or maybe you just want to focus on the movement, that's absolutely fine. Always just giving offerings, so you can take what's useful and ignore what's not. Next, coming over to the other side now, right hand comes up. It's opening through the right side of the body. Exhale as we draw that nice twist through specifically the upper back itself, but everything's kind of getting involved. Just notice if you're clenching your toes or sort of really trying to hold on to the ground. You can just let the feet know that they don't need to hold on for dear life. Breathing in, exhaling as you come down. And the side of the face can come all the way down to the floor. Breathing in. You might want to stay down there and hold it a little bit longer. Really feeling into that stretch, taking a few breaths down here, lifting up. And this is all great sort of preparation for sequences that we're going to be doing later as well. Right, now coming into downward facing dog. So we're going to tuck the toes under and then lifting up. If anybody's on the first couple of days of their sort of menstrual cycle, I'd just say actually come down here and stay in this position as opposed to lifting the hips up. If not, feel free to come up. And again, remember that we are still warming up, so my knees are nice and bent. You're not going to be able to see because I've got really baggy trousers on, but I'm bending my knees and just taking your dog for a little walk here. Next, pressing through the toes. You can even take the feet as wide as the mat or even wider. So, creating some mobility through the knees, the ankles, the hips. Then I'm just going to move my blanket. So you get into a little bit of a twist here. So I'm going to roll onto the outside of the right foot, inside of the left foot, coming into a bit of a twist this way. This is great for core stability. And you'll find that maybe when you're turning to the left, actually more weight is going through the right side. Nice. You can modify coming onto the forearms as well, if that works better for you. Again, there's always a way to make it work for your body. We're made so differently, but that's also what's incredible. Great. If you want to take it a step further, you can actually take the leg through, and I'm actually balancing on one of my hands. So as I come onto my left hand, my left leg is coming through that centre point. Nice. You can increase, if you want it to be more dynamic in pace, maybe just slowing it down and working really mindfully, but let's get the heart rate going a little bit. Nice. I'm certainly getting warm, I don't know about you. Wonderful. Great, and then one more downward facing dog. Again, just walking through the feet, we're still warming up. Coming down onto the knees, pressing back into child pose. And let's take the knees really, really wide, particularly as we're still warming up. Some nice soft breaths here. If that feels maybe too strong, you can also create fists with the hands here and just placing the head on the hands, or if you want a little bit more of a lift, you can always place a bolster or even a block to give you a little bit of height. Well done. Great, the detox has begun. Wonderful. So pressing forwards now, we're going to prepare to come up to a standing position. So maybe just walking the toes in. Can do a crisscrossy step here. And with the feet at a sort of hip width distance, you can check that actually by bringing the hands into fist shape, not fish shape, and placing them between the big toes, and that's a really good indicator that you've got that alignment. Rolling up to standing, spinal twist, or spinal roll here I should say. Got twists on the mind with our detox theme. So we come back up to standing. I'm just going to turn towards you. Standing in our Tadasana mountain pose. Feeling an opening through the chest. And we're going to move into a sequence called Shiv Shakti, which is a great way of balancing the feminine and masculine energy within all of us. Really good for energizing the body, and you'll notice some twists, and we know why they're good. So we're going to draw the right hand up above the head, left hand comes down towards the belly button, and just taking side flexion here. So as I come over to the left, I'm pressing down through the left foot, drawing up, exhale, softening. Breathing in, lengthening through the spine, exhale, coming over to the right side. Left hand is up in the air. Great. Drawing the hands round like a big beach ball. Breathing in. Exhale. Inhale. Hands around the beach ball. Exhale, softening the knees. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, over to the side. Inhale. Rotating the hands. Exhale, soften. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhale. And as you continue this movement, just notice if you're sort of crunching the neck over to the side, a bit like this, or maybe you're kind of coming forwards or slightly backwards. So we're trying to work within this straight plane here. I always visualise sort of two panes of glass, and I'll mention that later as on we move through some other positions. But it just helps to switch core stability on, have a nice stretch through the intercostal muscles. Also really good for toning the obliques as well. Wonderful. Moving through this movement, as my left hand comes up, I'm going to breathe in, exhaling. You might want to watch me on this first one. I'm coming down towards the right. Both hands are coming down to the floor. I'm moving around in a spiraling position, almost as if I'm bringing my hands around like a wheel here on the ground. And then opening up through the side. Nice, breathing. Exhale, coming over to the left side. Right hand's above, spiraling the hands around, drawing up. Over to the side, nice. Exhale. Swishing the hands round and up. This almost feels like a bit of a ragdoll kind of movement. And again, you don't need to get too prescriptive. Hands moving around as you come up, right hand's up. Exhale, left hand comes up. Exhale. So that inhale draws you up, exhale makes you fold forwards. Great. So carrying on with this movement, but just adding another little bit on. So as I come over to the side, left hand on top, I'm spiraling around to the left, taking my back foot back and drawing the hands up into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana One. If anyone working on, again, the first few days of their cycle, just bring the legs a little bit closer together so we're not going as deep into that stretch here. Nice, as we come back to the centre, feet line up, Right hand's on top now, breathing in, drawing up. Exhale, coming over to the left, spiraling round as we open up to the right side. Left foot goes back. Warrior one. So my front leg is bent, back leg is straight. I'm just creating a tucking motion with the pelvis as opposed to creating like a bigger lordosis through the back. Nice, opening through the chest. Coming back to the centre, left hand above. Coming over to the right side, spiraling around as you bend the knees. Right hand leads the movement up as I come into the left side again. So my left toes are pointing forwards. My back heel is pressing down, so I'm really pressing back through the sort of knife edge of the back toes and the foot. Great, coming back to the centre. Right hand at the top. Coming over to the left side, spiraling around. And again, feeling that lift up through the central point of the body as you bend that front leg. And you'll feel a stretch, particularly through this sort of front hip here, the psoas muscle that can get really, really tight when we've been sitting down a lot or maybe doing lots of cycling and running or working at a desk. Great. Moving through now as we take the feet maybe just a little bit wider. If we're not on the first few days of the cycle, if not, bring the feet together here. And the toes are pointing out, so you get a really nice support as you bend down. My knees are sort of mirroring the angle of the toes. Wonderful. Left hand above the right hand here. We're going to breathe in, drawing the left hand up. Exhale, drawing the left hand down through the central axis of the body, bending the knees. Breathing in, right hand comes up now. Exhale. Drawing the palms down, left hand comes up. So again, if you're working sensitively with the knees and the hips, you might not want to bend down as far. But for anybody else, feel free as you just press the hips forwards, coming into a nice squat here. So if I turn to the side, you'll see as I'm bending down, I'm pressing the hips forward as opposed to pressing the hips back. It's a bit like a plie in ballet, if anyone's familiar with that. So breathing in, exhale. And this creates beautiful alignment through the body. It's also really, really grounding as we're working through the lower energy centers, the lower chakras. Nice, the Muladhara chakra, great for making us feel earthbound, secure, supported, kind of our base needs and wants. And to finish up, we're going to take both hands out to the side. Exhale. Drawing the hands down through the center line of the body. Wonderful. If anyone wants a bit of an extra, come up onto the toes, holding that positioning. And then dropping the toes down, pressing up. Wonderful. Last movement. A bit more of a twist, so we're just going to walk the feet in. Again, hip width apart. You can check with making sure that the knuckles fit between the two big toes. So I'll just show you what this one looks like. Really beautiful movement, lovely twist. Right hand is pressing forwards, and I'm going to press through that right hand, creating a lovely twist in the back. As I draw back to the centre, my left palm facing up towards the sky draws round, and I create like a cross shape with my fingertips. My left palm's facing towards my face. I'm going to continue that movement over to the right as I come back to the centre. I'm bringing the sort of wrists together, creating this nice circular shape. Almost looks like a bit of a flower or like a lotus mudra here. And then drawing the hands around over to the left side. As we come back, same movement but on the other side. So my left hand is forwards, right hand comes to sit at any point along the back. Breathing in, pressing this left hand away. Again, like we're pressing into a wall. And as I draw the right hand back, palm facing upwards, you get a lovely rotation through the shoulder. And this right hand faces towards my face. Carrying on that movement to the side. As the hands come together, the wrists roll round over to the other side. Great, and then we start again. So we can speed this up a little bit. So right hand pressing away, twisting here, left hand coming through, palm facing upwards and round towards my face. Coming over to the right, spiraling the hands around over to the left side. Left hand is forwards now, placing the right hand back. Breathing in. Exhale, drawing the right hand forward, palm facing upwards, then round to the front of the body. Spiraling the hands around over to the other side. Right hand is forwards, breathing in. Left hand between the shoulder blades, wherever you're positioning it. Hands coming forwards over to the right. Round through the centre, over to the left. And one last time, left fingertips forwards, right hand comes up into the top of the back, breathing in, turning towards the right. Exhale, drawing this hand up, over to the left, spiraling the hands around over to the right. Wonderful. As you come back to the centre, Anjali Mudra, bringing the hands down to the chest. And as you breathe in, visualizing, filling the lungs with beautiful oxygens, cleansing breaths. Exhale, and you can visualize the air traveling down through the body, down through the legs and the toes into the earth. Exhale. Wonderful. Great work. As we move into our Surya Namaskar, our sun salutation, and this is the Dhru Yoga version that we're going to be working with. So again, if you're on the first few days of your period, I'd advise keeping the legs much closer together. So any lunges can be actually really high lunges, keeping the legs together, and maybe the movement that you'll see, this rippling effect, is much more subtle. And instead of downward facing dog, you can come into an all fours position here, maybe taking some undulations through the back as well. Great, so just working at your own pace. So coming up to the front of the mat. Again, feel free to put any padding under the knees that you would like. Coming into a lovely mountain posture here, standing tall through Ardha Tadasana. And with that idea of that pump for the lymphatic system, the calves are also a really good place to feel that motion and making sure that we're sort of moving around any liquid, any sort of edema that gets trapped down here. So we're just going to pump through the feet. So you'll see I'm coming up onto my toes, lowering through the heels. And you'll start to feel a bit of an ache. If it feels a kind of right amount of a challenge for you, I would encourage you to stick with it. It's really good for, again, warming up also through the backs of the legs, which is going to help with this sort of preparation for our sun salutation. So feeling a lift up through the tummy muscles. Let's draw the hands in a prayer position. If you need to have a little rest, feel free to just bring the feet back down to the earth. But just sticking with this, we're going to do another 20 seconds or so. Breathing into that aching, that warmth within the calves. challenging the body, feeling that strength building. I can feel it too. Oh, nice and warm. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Give the legs a shake. Wonderful. And working through our sun salutation now, drawing the hands up. As we exhale, we're going to fold forwards, hinging from the hips, bending the knees as much as you need to, coming down to a forward fold here. Uttanasana. Drawing in as we breathe in, drawing my hands up through the center line of the body. Taking a little back bend here as we squeeze the glutes and bring the chin down towards the chest. That's just to protect the neck. Great, exhale, folding forwards. Feeling that nice stretch through the calves, I'm sure, after that little movement we've done at the top of the mat. Breathing in, lifting up. Taking small back bend here as we open through the chest. Exhale, coming down and forwards. We're just breathing in as we take the right foot back into our high lunge here, or if you're able to, coming down towards the floor, again popping any padding that you need to under that knee. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhale, rippling forwards and taking the hands back like they're wings behind you. Just checking in with the knee here. You want the knee to be in line with the ankle. It looks like it's over the ankle. Then just adjusting the feet. Maybe you need to take that back leg a little bit further back. Exhale, come forwards. Breathing in, lifting up. Rising up through the chest. Exhale, do one more here. As I was talking. Breathing in, lifting up. Placing the hands either side of that front leg here. You can step back into plank or even through chaturanga if that's in your practice already. Or if you want to, you can bring the knees back into an all fours position and then lowering the body down. Try and hug the elbows into the side of the body. Nice. Hands come under the line of the shoulders, breathing and lifting up. Exhale, coming down. Breathing in, opening up through the front of the body, taking a nice deep breath in. Exhale, coming down. Last time, breathing in. Exhale, coming down. Pressing back into downward facing dog, or maybe you're coming to all fours. Whichever way you need to get to whatever position you're doing. If you are in downward facing dog, just checking in with the hands and the wrists, fingertips pointing forwards, distributing the weight through the whole of the hand, particularly through the thumbs and the middle fingers, just to protect the wrists. Wonderful. Gaze comes forwards, preparing to take the right leg up to the top of the mat. This can be in one single movement, or maybe you need to walk the foot up there. Wonderful. Breathing in. Exhale. Breathing in. Exhale. One more for luck. Breathing in. Exhale. Hands come either side of that front leg and walking the leg forward, either in a little jump here, or maybe you're going to walk the leg up. Drawing up through the body. Exhale. Breathing in, lifting up. Opening through the front body. Exhale. Feeling that spaciousness through the shoulders, the neck. Drawing up, breathing in. Exhale. Preparing to take the left leg back now. You go into your high lunge or coming down, getting any padding you need, drawing energy up and down And noticing my neck position. Some schools of yoga advise to kind of take the neck all the way back, but with this movement, and particularly today, I want you to keep the chin close to the chest. It's good for anybody with an overactive thyroid. Also just prevents you from kind of crunching the back of the neck. Here we go. Nice. Bringing the hands down either side, coming into a high plank here, or all fours position as you lower down. You can also use the forearms to help lower yourself down there as well. Hands underneath the line of the shoulder, drawing up. And that motion forwards through this cobra is like I'm trying to lift the heart through the space between the front fingers, the hands. So just cultivating that feeling, leading from the heart. Exhale. Lovely, pressing into downward facing dog or to all fours, maybe taking a few cat cows there, if that's the modification you're working with. Can move the hips side to side, though pedaling through the legs. And I'd much rather have bent knees here and feel that extension through the spine than trying to press your sort of heels down and create like a dome shape through the back. It's all about the spine here. Lengthening through the whole of the back. Taking the left leg forwards now. And whichever way you choose, breathing in. Exhale, coming down. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhale. Breathing in, third time. Exhale. Hands come to the front of the mat. Breathing in, stepping forwards. Nice undulations here. This gives the spine a lovely drink as you're drawing up to that standing position. You're bringing in new fluid into the back. So we come forwards, moving any old stuff. Lovely, let's have a twist here. So I'm going to open up to the right side, coming into kind of cactus arms here. Great, drawing the hands up, coming over to the other side. Feeling squeezing of the shoulder blades together, softening through the knees as well. Feel free if you need to just adjust the feet, just to support that twist. Over to the other side. So we're going to keep moving similar movements, but we're just going to introduce a few twists. So stepping back with the right leg into your version of lunge, drawing the hands up, and then we're going to take a twist here. Opening up to the right side, breathing in, over to the left. Drawing the hands up. This time as we come over, maybe placing the left hand inside the left leg. Or you might want to take a sort of positioning on the thigh here, if you're looking up here. Maybe it looks a bit like this. Fab. So if you've got a block, showing you all the different ways you can do it. You can just take a block here as well. Feeling that twist through the body. We're going to take it over to the side, breathing in, lifting up. Over to the other side now, twisting in the opposite direction. So many different ways, and I'd really encourage you to have a play with what works for you, and it's going to be different every day of the month. And that's also kind of what's cool about it, because you can notice any changes, or even just knowing when you need a bit of support and a bit of help. I think that's always a good lesson for all of us. Wonderful, drawing hands up. Exhale, hands come either side of that front leg, coming into our plank position or all fours, lowering the body down. Hands underneath the shoulders, drawing up. Exhale. Breathing in. Beautiful undulations. Breathing and holding it here. We're just going to take the head to the right side and then over to the left. And if you can, if we're just to try and isolate the movement, so we're strengthening the back and the extensor muscles that run up the spine, trying to keep the bottom and the legs out of this. So we're using the tummy and the muscles in the back. Great, lowering down. Drawing yourself up to downward facing dog. Giving the dog a little walk here. And then gaze forwards as the right leg comes forwards. Bring the hands up, opening to the right. Opening to the left. And let's take a twist here as well. Left hand coming down towards the floor or to the thigh. As the gaze comes over to the left, drawing this hand up towards the sky. And then the right hand coming down. I'm going to place it on the inside of the right leg. Drawing up again, using any of the variations that I showed earlier. Stepping forward to the front of the mat. Spinal rock forwards, exhale. Again, bending the knees as much as you need to. And even if you're super flexible, we're always trying not to lock any of the joints. Great, breathing in. Opening to the right, bending at the elbows, spreading the fingers here, active fingers, drawing up, hands coming above the head as you exhale, bending the knees, breathing in, once more each side, exhale, drawing up, exhale. Taking the left leg back into your lunge. Breathing in, scooping as if you're zipping up through the front body here. Exhale, coming down, hands coming back like wings here. Drawing the hands up above the head, opening out to the right. And I'm lengthening through the elbows here. Feeling that twist through the body, breathing in. Exhale. To the left side, breathing in, left hand coming down towards the floor or to your block or the thigh. Drawing up through the body, exhale, other side, right hand comes inside of the right thigh or onto the right thigh itself. Maybe looking up towards that left hand. Wonderful, breathing in. Great, moving your block as we take the right foot back into a nice downward facing dog here. And pedaling through the feet. And visualizing that kind of support that you're bringing to the whole of the body and all the functions that support that immune response and sort of that releasing and removal of impurities in the blood that happen in the liver, the digestive system. Wonderful. Taking the left leg forwards into your lunge, breathing in. Exhale, coming forwards and down. Nice stretch here, opening up. Over to the right. Breathing in, over to the left. Breathing in to the right. And to the left, and it feels good. And then you guessed it, we're going to bring the left hand down to the mat, to your block, your thigh. Maybe looking up towards that top hand. And breathing in, lifting up through that top hand up towards the ceiling. Right hand comes down. Gaze either up towards the top fingertips, or you can look down to the ground. That is quite stabilising actually if you're still kind of working with the balance there. Gorgeous, come into central point. Hands coming down to the floor as you walk that back leg forwards. Breathing in. Exhale down. Breathing in, bending the knees, uncurling. Lubricating the spine as we turn to the right. Hands, again in that kind of cactus form. And it's totally fine. If your twist is like round here, it's cool. We're all working progress. Coming back to the centre, over to the other side. Breathing in. And then drawing the palms down, prayer position here. Softening through the body. Just checking the alignment of the feet, making sure they're hip distance. Bending the knees and just tucking the pelvis under. So it's like the bottom of the pelvis is just coming forwards. Nice. Softening through the breath. Feeling that heat that you've created within the body. Nice. Nice bit of sweat. Again, helping with this detoxification, making room for lovely new stuff, nurturing the body. I'm going to move into lovely posture called Adhita Trikonasana. This is the triangle, the lateral extended triangle. So you can stay there in Tadasana. I'm just going to quickly demonstrate how this posture and another posture that's kind of sister posture goes with. So I'm bringing my feet out nice and wide. Again, if you're working on the first couple of days of your cycle, you can move with us, but maybe bringing the feet much closer together. So your triangle will look a little bit more like this. And that's the same for anyone that's working with any hernias, or maybe if your hips and your knees are feeling a little bit sticky. If that said, if you do have any hip, knee, back problems, you can move into this. This is really good for actual helping with scoliosis, but it might be that you don't want to hold the posture as long. You might want to come out of it and maybe move back in. But again, really just listening to your body and how it feels for you today. So the full posture itself looks a little bit like this, and I'll talk you through it afterwards. also take this with a block. And then coming up. Change the other side. Again, you can come up a little bit higher, working with a bent knee, just getting that side flexion. Great. Let's have a go. Woo! Really good for strengthening through the legs, will be stretched through the hips. And as you'll see, as we move forward onto the next posture, it's working with this form, but introducing a bit of a twist. But let's start with the first stage. So my left foot is going to 90 degrees. And the right heel is turned down. It can be about 45, but I'd say, especially if this is new for you, I'd take it out a little bit further. So almost like the heels are lining up here and the toes are pointing forwards. And you don't need to feel like you're working on a tightrope either. You can imagine maybe they're on sort of train tracks, which really helps that hip stability, particularly when you're coming down. So, in your positioning here, lengthening body, breathing in, exhale, just softening through the joints, standing firmly on the ground. As we breathe in, lengthening through the hands, exhale, I'm reaching forwards with this left hand as we come down towards the ground or your block or your knee, wherever you're working. If you are bringing the hand down towards the ground, pressing the left hand onto the inside of the left leg. And my hips are moving back out to the right as I draw this top hand up level with the side of the face and the eyes, as opposed to sort of overextending. Wonderful. On our next in-breath, I'm going to lift this top hand up towards the ceiling, feeling a lovely stretch through the ribcage itself and opening up to the side. It's also said to be really good for letting go of irritable sort of behaviour habits and also old memories. It's like the ribs are like a filing cabinet. So when we give them a good sort of stretch and really breathe into them, we're letting go of old trauma patterns and memories that maybe have been sort of held in the body. So coming over to the other side now, right foot turns out to 90 degrees, left heel turning out, again an angle that suits you, drawing the hands up, breathing in. Exhale, softening through the joints, the elbows, the knees. And feel free to bend the front leg if that's kind of what's going to aid you get into the position itself. And breathing in. Exhaling, reaching that right hand forwards, coming down. And this is another point where imagining you're working between two panes of glass is really helpful. So everything's working on the same plane. If you find that you're sort of pressing your hips towards the wall behind you, I just encourage you to bring some tone to the glutes, to the muscles of the bottom, and squeezing the thighs, the inner thighs together. Really supporting that movement, breathing in, lifting up through that top hand. Exhale, drawing the hands down. We're going to go over to the left again. Opening up through the left foot, turning that back heel away, breathing in. Exhale, reaching forwards to the left and allowing that movement to carry you down, opening up through the heart. This feels a bit strong, the top hand. You can also lower this hand down, maybe if you're working with mobility sort of challenges in the shoulder. When you're ready, drawing up, if that top hand is up above you, lifting up towards the ceiling. Exhale, drawing the hands down, softening. Breathing in, right foot turns out, left heel turns away. Exhale, reaching over to the right, hips going to the left, and drawing down. Gaze either coming up to this top hand. Again, if you want a little bit more stability, I'd look down towards that bottom foot. Squeezing the inner thighs together. On your next in-breath, lifting up. Exhale, soften the knees. Wonderful. So last posture of this session, lovely twist. So I'll just demonstrate this for you. You'll notice similarities, so breathing in. So this is moving with a modification, using the block and bending the front leg, drawing the hands across the heart, coming over to the other side now. I'm going to do the full posture. And exhale. Great, so this side, as I said, I was using a modification, using a bit of support here. Other side was the full posture, lengthening through that front leg. And it's a forward bend and then a twist here as well. Nice and strong through the tummy, but for that reason, if you do need to modify, feel free to do the triangle, the first version that we did. This is called Parivrtta Trikonasana, the rotated, the revolved triangle. So, as we come to our mats, bringing our feet as is comfortable and as safe apart, opening the left leg, right heel turns away. And just to get that rotation, I would advise lining the heels up and maybe pressing the toes to face a little bit further forwards. That'll just help with the stability in the hips. Breathing in. So as we're turning to the left, I'm bringing my left hand to the left hip, right hand comes forwards. Exhale. As we bend forwards, feel free to bend the knee if you need to. So you can stay here if this feels enough for today. Or if you want to, either using a brick or allowing the hand to place on so the right hand would be on the outside of the left leg, coming into that beautiful twist, the revolved triangle. As we breathe out, we're going to bring the hands to the ground in front of that front leg and visualizing that we're pulling up beautiful light from the ground. Drawing that light across the chest as the right hand moves across the line of the heart. Exhale, lowering the hands down and just moving the feet here so the right foot is turning out. Left heel, again just lining up with the front of the other heel. Breathing in. Exhale as we draw this left hand forward and round. Right hand comes onto the right hip. Inhale, standing nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold here. Again, feel free to bend the front knee as much as you need to. Holding this position if that feels enough, or just grabbing anything you need to support you. Taking a few soft breaths here. And then breathing In, preparing to twist on that exhale. Lowering the hand down, exhale. Breathing in as you bring the hands towards the earth. Exhaling into that lovely stretch. Breathing in, drawing up gorgeous light from the earth. And drawing that across the chest with the next breath. Feeling that expansion through the whole of the body as you soften the joints with the next exhale. Bringing the hands down into Tadasana as you walk the feet in. Letting that breath go. We're going to come into a beautiful Shavasana on the floor. This is lying posture. You'll be happy to hear that's you for the day or for this session. So bringing a pillow or a blanket underneath the head, coming down to lie on the floor, taking your feet out to the side, hands out either side as well, palms facing up towards the sky. Softening through the body, and this is really an important time just to let the magic kind of settle. And these movements have all been designed to aid that beautiful cleansing of the body. So as you move through the rest of your day, whichever part of the day you're doing this class in, I would encourage you to have lots of water just to support that. So continue to lie on the ground. I'm not going to go into a full relaxation today. We've spent lots of gorgeous time on the movements itself, so that'll be something for next week instead. But just bringing one hand to the chest and one hand to the belly. And noticing that movement of the tummy and into the top of the lungs on the breath. Again, not forcing anything, not trying to control. But just being a witness. To this beautiful exchange as we bring in oxygen to the body, the muscles, blood. And exhaling, letting go of what we don't need. That movement of carbon dioxide out. Feeling that you're nurturing yourself with every breath. And as you're lying there and continuing to work with that really soft breath, got a lovely quote here from the Bhagavad Gita. And I just wanted to share a little quote with you. So the mind becomes purified through selfless action and disciplined through meditation. As the senses begin to quieten down, you start to see who you really are. The mind becomes purified through selfless action and discipline through meditation. As the senses begin to quieten down, you start to see who you really are. And letting that resonate with you if it does, on any level that feels appropriate. And feel free to lie there for a little bit longer if you'd like to. And in fact, I'm going to invite you to lie there a little bit longer. If we had more time, I'd stay there longer. So if you do want to get up, rolling onto your right side really gently, and then coming back to a seated position, or just staying down there having a little bit longer. Feeling a sense of stillness through the body. Feeling a freshness in the mind. And I want to say a big thank you for joining me today. I hope this has been a wonderful experience for you. And I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, or a wonderful sleep if you're doing this at night. And I'll see you for the next session. Namaste.